Alright, well, here we go. What is up, everyone? It's that time again. It's another random comic book review with me, Corey James. If you're on the Suicide Moses Productions channel right now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with all your friends so you can see all the other videos we do. Since the beginning of this whole comic book review video thing that I've been doing, I always talk about a series called Seven to Eternity, and I tell you guys all the time that it's my favorite. It's unreal how good the writing and the artwork and the thought that's put into these books. But I haven't reviewed any of them yet, and I keep telling you guys I'm going to. The reason for that is it is an ongoing series. It is still going. I'm subscribed to it right now. So if you're not, you should be. Get caught up by the first 2 volumes. They're cheap. And then subscribe to it, and you can start getting the new issues as they come monthly. So this week, I'm going to review only Volume 1. If you check it out real quick. It's probably around like $11, maybe $10 right now. So if you don't want me to spoil it, spoiler alert, pick it up now, give it a read, and then come back and watch my review. The story starts in a land called Zal, and there is a ruler over Zal called the God of Whispers. Some call him the God of Whispers. Some call him the Mud King. He promises you your deepest desire. He gives you an offer. And the only way you can get this offer from him is if you let him in to you as a entity. Basically, he doesn't have control over you, but he does. He can hear what you hear. He can see what you see. He can manipulate you into doing what he wants. Maybe not liking a certain people or person, or doing a certain thing that he doesn't want you to do. So, the Osiris family, Jedediah Osiris, is one of the only people in the land who refused to hear the Mud King's offer. And for this, he was casted out. He was ridiculed. His family can't live in the cities or anything, and they can't talk to anyone. Everybody thinks they're crap. So they moved far, far away into the outskirts, into the mountains, and they live on their tiny little farm, and they have their own family, and they don't go anywhere or talk to anybody. And Jedediah has a son named Adam. Adam has a wife and a daughter. He's not particularly too happy with his father's decisions, because he feels like his decision has destroyed their family. His firmness and standing his ground on his choices to not hear the Mud King's offer. So the book is written by Rick Remender. The artwork is done by Jerome Opeña. Rick Remender is, if not the greatest writer of all time in comic books, he is the greatest writer in our time of comic books. He doesn't write like other comic book styles. He's not afraid to go into the dark places, the moral questions, the right and wrong. And if one side believes that they're doing right, but the other side believes that they're doing right, who's to say which one is in the wrong if both believe truly that they are doing what is right? Opeña, the artwork, and let's just say, the artwork in this is beautiful. If he decided to leave this series, which when a series goes for a really long time, they tend to swap in and out artists because of fatigue. They haven't yet. He's stuck with it this entire time, and everything is amazing looking. And if he ever does decide to take a break, nothing against him, but I'm probably not gonna continue to follow until he comes back. So anyway, they're living in the middle of nowhere, and I remember seeing one of the issue covers before I ever had read it, and I saw Jedediah and his powers that he has. So he's part of this ancient group of people called the Mozak, who are basically mutants in this world. They have superpowers. Their superpowers in this game, in this series, are so unique. It's refreshing. So this family, the Osiris family, they each have their own individual powers, but they also keep each other's blood in these things that they call nails, which are these little containers, which then they can use in their weapons to summon the other person's power in their family, which is freaking weird, I know, but it's awesome. So when I remember seeing this for the first time, I saw the cover and I saw Jedediah, and I thought he looked so badass. He, this old bald guy with suspenders on, but he's shooting almost like electrical flames out of his mind's eye to create this gigantic eyeball above his head, which in turn is creating these electrical weapons, like two swords in his hands. And I was like, holy cow, I gotta check this series out. This looks amazing. To my disappointment, spoilers, like I said, it doesn't take long within the first couple pages for the Mud King to show you his reach and his wrath of people who don't follow him, people who haven't heard his offer. He's not okay with that. So he sends his army, led by one of the coolest characters in the book, the Piper, which is his right-hand man, who controls the mud and turns them into wolves and animals and creatures to attack Jedediah's family, the Osiris family, to try to get him to come hear his offer. Or die. So this is the first time we get to see anyone fight and use their powers, and he uses his powers, and it's freaking awesome. But the Piper plays a little tune, the mud sinks him, Jedediah down into the mud and kills him, suffocates him. All you see is his hand sticking up out, and Adam holds his hand as he dies. So, first, right off the bat, awesome story, great artwork. I was kind of disappointed. The reason, the character that got me pulled in, you killed in the first 5 pages. But that's where this story takes you. It takes you in places that you weren't expecting to go. Things that you thought were going to happen, 360, opposite direction. That's awesome. I don't want to know what's going to happen next. Even though I think I want to know, and then I get a little bit disappointed when I don't, it's so worth it not knowing and being surprised in this just being such a refreshing story. So all of a sudden, the story takes a shift, and you realize, okay, the story's not about Jedediah. It's going to be about his son, Adam Osiris. And Adam is the focus of this story. Adam, now with his father dead, the Piper tells him, you now lead your family. You can come hear the Mud King's offer, or we will come back and we will kill your family. Now Adam has a choice. Follow his father's wishes and what his father held firmly upon, and not hear the Mud King's offer, and continue his family to be outcasts and be attacked and risk them dying, which he never agreed with in the first place, or go hear the Mud King's offer. But Adam comes up with a third option. He straps up his horse, gets all his stuff, tells his family, tells his wife and his daughter that he's going to go kill the Mud King. Now here lays another huge moral choice for him. He wants to go kill the Mud King because that'll keep his family safe. But the millions of people who have heard his offer, who are connected to the God of Whispers, will also die if he kills the Mud King. But it doesn't matter to him. He's going to go kill the Mud King. Well, he tells his family he's going to go kill the Mud King. On his way, it's cool because there's like journal entries and stuff, so you get like an insight to what Adam's thinking. He says that he might hear the offer, and that'll also save his family. And this is where you find out something, a nice little constant pull at the main antagonist is he's also dying. He has a terminal illness, and he's constantly coughing up blood. So right there, they keep building on that. If he does hear the Mud King's offer, the offer is going to be to heal him so that he can keep his family safe. If he dies, that's it. His family's alone. His wife, his daughter, all of them, they're all alone. Yeah, so this story just layer after layer after layer of huge, mind-blowing, back and forth moral choices and stuff. It's so awesome. He gets to the Mud King's city, and as he is in the throne room of the God of Whispers, and you don't know whether he's going to hear the offer. Obviously Mud King's trying to play his best salesman and lay it on thick that he has a good offer for him, and you don't know if he's going to attack him and kill him or if he's going to hear the offer. Boom, the Mozak bust in. So apparently, like I told you earlier, there's this ancient group of the people called Mozaks, and they have powers. There's a small group who still fight as like the old ways. They all have the uniforms. They're still a team. They are trying to take the Mud King down. But they're not trying to kill him. They're trying to capture him to take him to a wizard in a different land who can separate the ties between him and the people of Zal, so that when they do kill Mud King, it won't kill everybody else in turn. So we get a lot of really cool characters introduced right here. We get this crazy ancient ninja purple monkey dude. Awesome. We get the white witch who looks so sick. She kind of looks like an owl. She has a white lantern. We get the Patchwork, who her power is pretty cool, pretty morbid and like effed up, but pretty cool. So like her power is anyone who dies in her family, she can actually their body parts will attach to her. And then she in turn gets their powers. So she's got like a bunch of different powers, but they're all from dead family members. So she looks like Patchwork. She has pieces of her family all attached to her. Pretty messed up. But my favorite team member of the Mozak is Drawbridge. Like, the characters that these guys came up with in this story are outrageous. Okay, so we got all these like normal-sized, humanoid-looking people. And then you have Drawbridge. Is it Jawbridge or Drawbridge? I think it might be Jawbridge, but that'd be funny. Standing in the background. And that's how they got in to the castle. Okay, so it's this gigantic green T-Rex, a dinosaur. But his lower jaw is a metal jaw that opens up and creates portals so that they can travel fast. Awesome. That's so cool. So, they're attacking. Adam ends up seeing that they're attacking. He ends up helping and getting involved. They actually capture the Mud King, and they get out. Drawbridge creates a diversion and makes the Piper think that they went one way when they went the other way. Look at the birdie. So, unfortunately, like I said with this book, we lost Jedediah when I thought he was going to be one of the coolest characters. And then they introduced me to Drawbridge, and I'm like, holy crap, this is an awesome character. And then, boom, he's out in the middle of the desert, and the Piper's tracking him down, and they kill him. I said I wasn't going to spoil the heck out of this book, but we're spoiling the heck out of this book. So, like I said, if you haven't read it, go read it, and then come back and listen to my review. So they got the Mud King. They got him in this wagon. They're traveling to this other land so that they can get to the wizard dude, so he can separate the ties between the people and the Mud King. The Mud King is cunning. He is smooth, man. He'll whisper in your ear all day and make you want everything that he's got. But that's where the stuff starts getting good. Adam's going to end up hearing the offer eventually. You know it. So, this whole time they're traveling and the Mozak are trying to convince him that what we're doing is right and all this stuff. And then, one night when they're sitting around the campfire and everybody's sleeping, the Mud King and Adam get to talking. And I believe the book ends on the Mud King that actually happens in volume 2. So basically the book ends with them traveling to the other place to get the wizard. I don't want to give away too much about volume 2 because we're going to do a review on that in a couple weeks, and then we'll be all caught up. I'll be able to start reviewing the new issues. Because, man, does this book get even heavier. I thought, I know exactly what Adam's doing. He's set in his ways. He's going to do what his father did. He's going to never hear the offer. I have not. Every time they say, have you heard the offer? I have not. But I am wrong. That was my review on Seven to Eternity Volume 1. I hope that intrigued you. Go read it for yourself. I cannot stress how good this freaking series is, man. Everything about it. I have a couple of buddies. If you've watched the podcast for long, you know who James May is. He's not real big into comic books, but I had him read these books and he loved them because it's not like regular comic books. This stuff is really good literature. It's heavy. It's moral. It's just what is right and wrong. It's straight. That's where I keep coming back to is what is right and wrong. It's a perspective sometimes. Next week, I subscribed to a little series that just started from Marvel called X-Men Black, and I am uber excited. I got the first 3 issues coming my way. Magneto, Mystique, and Mojo. So hopefully mid next week I'll get those, and I'm going to read them up real fast. So next Sunday, I'm hoping my review will be of the first 3 of a 5-issue miniseries called X-Men Black. So I'm real excited about that. And then after that, we'll come back and I'll do volume 2 of Seven to Eternity, and then we'll be all caught up and we'll be able to start reviewing the new issues as they come. So it won't be so overwhelming. I won't be talking about 5, 7 issues. I'll be talking about 1 at a time. Well, this has been the Random Comic Books Review with Corey James. You can see the Strange Planet podcast on Wednesdays on this channel. You can see Anthony's Wrestling Roundup. A new issue just dropped Friday. It was pretty heavy. He was talking about some stuff going on in the WWE with the Crown Jewel and his take on it, his stand. It's pretty good. Check it out. It's on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel if you enjoy these videos, and come back next week and we'll talk about some more comic books. Uh, have a good Sunday and a good rest of the week.